I told that old hag of yours to stay away from my wedding coming up soon. So can you make sure to tell her as well for me? Tell her that she will not be allowed into the wedding on the day of and that she needs to stay away from us so as not to cause any trouble.
What? When you say that old hag of mine, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about your mom being the old hag, and you should have known what I meant. Having her walk into my wedding all by herself with no partner walking beside her is just sad. So tell her to stay away. Simple as that. You are her daughter after all, so you should be fine with asking that of her for me.
Sandy? I'm sorry, but I have zero clue what you're talking about right now. Are you really telling me that you don't want my mom coming to my brother and your wedding?
I am telling you that. I shouldn't even have to be telling you this sort of stuff right now. You should already know that someone like her coming into my wedding would ruin the whole mood.
No, I don't know any good reason why her coming to your wedding would ruin the mood.
Why not? Being raised by a single mother is freaking embarrassing, right? And having her waltz into my wedding with nobody as her partner is so sad that I cannot allow it to happen when I'm about to show everyone my happiness. So tell her to stay away, please. Even your brother is embarrassed by her, so I'd like to keep her from coming in and ruining the whole wedding by making him and I beat red with anger and embarrassment. Just think about it with a level head, and you can see why I'm asking this from you.
Why are you saying things like that? I actually respect my mom a lot for having to raise her kids all on her own. And the way you're talking about her so cruelly right now is making me a bit upset, so please stop that. I feel bad for my mom right now hearing things like this about her from you.
What? Are you an idiot as well, then?
Excuse me?
You just have to put a little thought into it and you'd understand what I'm saying. If your mom comes to my wedding, she's going to ruin everybody's time. And if she begins to piss me off coming in as a single and depressing mother like that, then what do you think will happen to my wedding?
Well, stop trying to think that just by having my mom at your wedding, she'd ruin everyone's mood and end your wedding.
If she ends up coming in and giving the wedding a rotten atmosphere, your brother is going to be just as upset as I will be. Are you telling me that you want both me and your brother to be upset and embarrassed on our very special day?
Does this mean that my brother is 100% on board with having my mom stay away from the wedding?
Him and I are a married couple now. Anything I say about the two of us automatically makes him on board with it.
Well, if that's what you think, then fine. But I highly doubt that he'd be okay with what you're saying about our mom right now. Both he and I think highly of our mom and would never want to do anything to disrespect her.
You're the least helpful little sister. Well, whatever, I guess. We'll handle your mom on our own then.
And how are you going to handle my mom then?
Don't you dare go telling your brother anything about this, okay? And if you don't want our wedding to end up going up in flames, then you stay out of what happens next between us and your mom.
Well, now you're starting to get me worried about what you're planning on doing. I don't plan to say anything necessarily to my brother about this, but you're not going to do anything unwarranted to my mom, right?
We are getting very close to our long-awaited wedding and are both very nervous as well as excited for the day. So I ask you to please stay quiet about what I said. Allow your brother and I to have our moment in peace without getting in the way.
I still am a bit lost on what's all going on here with you, but I have no plans of getting in the way of your wedding. But can you make sure to talk all of this through with my brother as well before you ask to have my mom stay away from your wedding? Mom, have you gotten any messages from Sandy recently?
Well, she told me not to come to her wedding a little while ago.
So she actually did go ahead and tell you all of that straight then. I can't believe her. Well, you don't really have to worry about what she said to you, okay? I really do think that there's no way on earth that Kai would allow you to be told to stay away from his wedding with no good reasoning.
Well, I hope you're right.
Huh? Why do you say it like that?
Well, I'm just saying that what Sandy has said about Kai agreeing with her might be correct. I'm sure to him he has no real use for me anymore as his mother. And if anything, I'm just an embarrassment to him now.
Why are you saying all of that stuff about yourself and him? There's just no way that he'd think of you that way now.
Well, I heard all of this from Kai himself.
What? You heard this from Kai himself?
He told me that after what he's been told by Sandy, it's probably best that I really don't come to their wedding. And then after that, he ended our conversation by telling me to just not come. And ever since then, I haven't heard anything from him. No matter how many times I try to call and text him.
What the heck? What is wrong with Kai? Does he not see how rude he's being to you right now? I'll go and talk with him then.
Please stop trying to talk any sense into those two for me, okay?
Why should I stop trying, though? There has to be something going on between Kai and Sandy that we don't know about, because there is just no way he'd actually mean something as cruel as that. I bet you she's trying to brainwash him right now, and that his response to you wasn't his own.
And I'm sure that there's some reason for Kai telling me not to come, but we can't go around trying to force ourselves into those two's decision. I will at least go out and try to help them prepare tomorrow, but if they really do not want me coming to the wedding or having anything to do with it, then I'm going to stop. It's my job as his mom to let him decide who comes and who doesn't come to his wedding.
All right, then. How about the both of us go tomorrow, then, to help them prepare? I want the both of us to hear the real reasoning behind their decision for having you stay away.
Hey, why did you and your mom come here? I thought I made myself very clear when I said that I didn't want your mom coming to my wedding. What the hell are you thinking coming into this place with your mom?
Well, I'm having a hard time believing that you actually had the nerve to tell my mom to stay away from this wedding.
Well, even if you've come here today, it's not going to help your guys' situation any. Huh, your brother and I didn't prepare a seat for your mom here.
Huh? You actually overlooked preparing a seat for my mom? For Kai's mom?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And why would I have? I told you that she wasn't allowed in here, yet she chose to come anyway with you.
Even if you're my brother's fiance, this is going way too far. Allow us to talk to him right now about all of this.
Right now, Kai is busy talking with other people at the moment and doesn't have time to waste with the two of you. That's the whole reason I'm being considerate of him and am giving up my time to handle his family ordeal. As I had said to you and your mom before, there is no seating for her. I'm going to have your mom kicked out of this wedding right now.
You are the worst, Sandy, saying things like that about my mom.
I'm in the right to be saying all of this about her. Having to be raised in a single-parent household is one of the most embarrassing things to happen to someone. And I don't want him to feel that embarrassment today. All your mom is doing by being here is causing problems, and I want her to go home.
Then the whole family is going to go home.
Huh?
I've had enough of this from you. My mom is done dealing with you, and so the two of us are going to do as you say and leave this wedding right now.
Huh? Hold on a second, Amber. Did I ever say that I want you going home from this wedding as well?
You don't have to say anything like that to me, because saying something like that to my amazing mom is enough to make me want to go. So if you still want her to leave this place, then I'm going to join her and see her home. And right now, we are talking with other members of the family about this as well as friends. Even my brother is saying that he's ready to go now after what you've said to my mom.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about when you say your brother says he will go home? Do you have any other brothers besides Kai that I've never been told about?
I do not. I only have one brother, and that would be Kai. And Kai is the one saying that he'll come home with us. The way you've been acting around us and speaking for him has been way too much for him to accept.
Now, you wait just a second. What are you actually saying right now? What? Are you telling me that you told Kai about all of this? That has to be a load of crap, right? I specifically told you to not tell him anything about this and that I'd handle things between us.
Well, I was finally able to talk with him in person, face to face. And when we started to talk to one another, I made sure to show him all the things you've been saying to our mom and I about not wanting her here.
Huh? You're showing our conversations to other people without asking for my permission first. What the hell happened to there being something called privacy in this world?
And what happened to the privacy that my brother deserves to have from you?
Huh?
You ended up taking his phone from him on multiple occasions and typing all sorts of replies to my mom using his phone, making her think that she was talking to him when it was really you. And in the end, you were the one that blocked her on his phone, right?
I'm I'm not really sure what you're talking about right now, but,
Come on now, Sandy. This is not the time to be laughing about that. You have very much shocked my brother with the way you've acted.
And so what? Why the hell did you tell all of this to Kai now? I swear, I told you very clearly to not get in the way of your brother and my happiness, and that includes this wedding today.
You think I was actually going to listen to you after what you said to me about not wanting my mom at her son's wedding?
Huh?
The way you've been acting around everyone has been completely screwed up, and my brother needed to know about what you were doing. And right now, he's in complete shock over what you'd done.
Huh? What are you trying to say I did that would surprise him so much? What did you actually say to my man that would make him start to doubt me? Why, Amber? Why would you do all this useless crap on the most important day of Kai's in my life?
This is all happening because of how you played your cards, Sandy. You kept thinking that you had the right to talk horribly about my mom and say that she was causing the two of you embarrassment. But it's because of my mom that you were able to meet such an amazing man as Kai. Because she worked her butt off for us, making sure we turned out as good people. What the hell does it matter to you that we have no father? You have no right to talk about my family like you have been, Sandy. Even if you have a problem with her being a single mother, my brother and I are both so thankful that we were raised by someone as warm-hearted and thoughtful as her.
Who gives a crap about all of that? Right now, things are going downhill for me. If I'm not able to have this wedding with Kai today, what am I going to do? Where the hell has he run off to right now?
Do you even have the ability to listen to what I say to you? I said just a second ago that not only my mom and I, but also Kai have all given up on you and are done here.
What do you mean given up on me and are done here, though?
I'm saying that we cannot forgive you for the way you've talked to us and the way you've acted around Kai. And it seems that he feels the same way and doesn't want to deal with you as his partner anymore.
Hold on. I just heard that Kai is telling everyone here that the wedding is canceled and to pack things up to head home. That has to be a sick joke or something, right?
No, you know very well that he is not the kind of person to joke about something like that. Especially when he was so happy to get married today. If he's going around telling everyone that right now, then it's truly happening.
But him and I really did plan on having our wedding today, Amber.
I know that. And everyone else expected you both to have a wedding today as well. But if all your family and friends, as well as the groom, leave the wedding, then there's no way you can carry on with it, right? Unless you're going to have a one-man wedding today.
Why the hell would you say something like that now? How would I ever be able to have a wedding by myself? Why is all this happening to me now? This is all your fault, you jerk!
Huh? This is all my fault now? Why would any of this be because of me, Sandy?
I told you to stay out of all of this and not to get in the way of anything regarding my wedding with Kai today. But since you went ahead and opened your mouth to your brother about what's going on, this all happened. I never actually thought you'd be stupid enough to tell Kai about what I'd said and done.
Huh? You still have no clue what's going on here then?
What do I have no clue about, Amber?
The only thing everyone thought could never happen is the way you acted towards me and my family. You literally took my brother's phone from him without asking and blocked my mom's number on there so that she couldn't try and talk to him anymore. Is that something normal people do to their in-laws?
Well, when you say it like that, you make it seem like I have done something wrong.
That's because you have done something wrong. Plenty of things, actually. I myself am having a very hard time understanding why, after all that's happened, you're still having a hard time understanding why you've been in the wrong. Tell me, why have you done all of this to my mom and want to kick her out of the wedding?
Well, that's because I just don't want her to be here today, and so I want her gone.
Well, that's not giving us a clear reason, though. I want to know why you don't want her here and want her to go home. If your reason for all that is because she's a single mother, then maybe you shouldn't be marrying my brother in the first place. What kind of balls do you have to think that using that as a reason would be a good idea?
Well, listen, if your mom is single and can't find another man to marry, then in the future, Kai and I will have to take care of her when she's old and useless. And since he's the oldest, you won't have to worry about your mom, and all the responsibilities surrounding her will fall on us, right? So I've been trying my hardest to have the two of us cut ties with her sooner rather than later. I just assumed that by forcing her to not come to this wedding, that'd be enough to end things between us.
So your reason for all of this is due to your overbearing selfishness? Well, if that's it, then I guess there's no helping you now. You can talk the rest of this through with my brother.
Wait a second, Amber. If you don't stick around and help me, then my wedding is going to fall apart and I'll lose Kai. You and we're supposed to become sisters, right? Let's you and I grow close to one another and fix all of this. After what's happened to me today, I'll even forget about what I thought regarding your mom and allow her to come watch her son and I get married. And then after that, we can all become one big family, right?
After all you've done to us, you expect something like that to work out for you? No matter how you try and spin things now, we are never going to be your family.
Please do not say things like that right now. You're the only person that can help me right now in getting your brother to come back to me. Right. How about you go ahead and tell him to come back to me, and then after that we can forget any of this ever happened.
How about this, Sandy? How about you just forget about there ever being a chance of you becoming my brother's wife? And then we can end all of this right now. I'm so glad you went crazy just before the wedding, so that we could all see your true colors before the knot was really tied. If you and him really did get married today, then my family's future would have been in real danger. I'm really relieved to see that I won't become your sister-in-law after all. You must really be in a corner right now thinking we can all forget about what you've done. Especially after what you did to my mom.
You really don't have to say things like that right now, Amber.
I believe it was you that really didn't have to say all of the things you said to my family before, but you did anyway. So what happens to you next has nothing to do with me, okay? You can go right along and talk with my brother about that and see where you'll end up.
I'm not even able to get a response from your mom now. I wonder if I can get any of them to come back here. I'm sure if they just listened to my reasoning behind all of this, they'd understand me.
The only reason for all this was you trying to save yourself from having to care for my family in the future. Well, look at that. You won't have to worry about us anymore because none of us plan to talk with you anymore.
But your mom is supposed to be a really kind person, right? She would never say goodbye to me forever over a simple mess-up like this, right?
Well, my mom's saying that she could never see you becoming a part of her family after what happened today.
She said that? That considerate mom would say something like that about me?
Well, weren't you the one that had planned on throwing her away the moment you married my brother? Oh well, I guess. Seems like you're going to be the one getting thrown away now after everyone came around to understand your true intentions. My sincere condolences, Sandy. Really sucks that you were never able to have your special day today. But you are like the devil, so there was no reason for you to have a special day in the first place. Good luck with the next man you plan on roping in. Hopefully he has both a mom and a dad that he was raised by, so you don't have to go through a day like today ever again. In the end, the wedding that had been planned for that day was canceled almost immediately. And of course, the legal marriage that Sandy and Kai had with one another ended up going up in flames. And because of the embarrassment they were forced to endure regarding this event, both of Sandy's parents ended up leaving her to fend for herself and would later cut ties with her. Sandy was then left to pay all the cancellation fees for the wedding, as well as a settlement for what she'd done to Kai's mom. But because she didn't have the money for all of that, she tried to get Amber's help again. However, this time, Amber wasn't going to have any more of Sandy and blocked her within seconds, so that she'd never have to hear or see a word from her again. It really seems fair that after all Sandy had done to Kai's mother and sister, she'd end up with no wedding, no husband, and no parents. She did say she went through all that in order to not have to deal with a single mother-in-law in the future, but nobody's even sure if that was the true reasoning or if this was all done due to Sandy just being a crazy woman.
Hey Isaac, I'm sorry to tell you like this, but I want to break off our engagement.
What? First you didn't come home last night, without even messaging me about what you were doing, and now this? What happened? Was it something I did?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with you. Well, actually, yeah, I guess it kinda does.
What is it, Melissa? Let's calm down for a minute and talk things over, okay?
I found a guy who's better for me than you are.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah, super serious. Oh, Isaac, sure, you're working for a pretty good company, making a pretty good salary, and are all around a pretty good guy. But compared to Mitch? So yeah, I decided that the best thing for me would be to break up with you and marry Mitch.
Mitch?
I would say you're better off not knowing about him, but since it might actually be a chance for you to do some self-improvement, let me tell you all about what a dream he is. He took over an entire IT company from his dad 3 years ago, and all the tech magazines are calling him the rising star of the industry.
I see.
So anyway, moving right along, I know this will probably be difficult for you, so I'll get my rich new fiancé Mitch to give you some money as a compensation for me breaking off the engagement. Go ahead and name your price. He can pay it with no trouble.
No, let's not just move right along with this conversation. We need to talk about this in person, Melissa. Our parents have already met. Our wedding plans are underway. We're not some high school couple who can just break up by text. What are you thinking?
Oh, come on. Don't go getting all sentimental on me, Isaac. We're not legally married yet, and we still haven't put down the deposit on the wedding venue, so what's the big deal? And like I said, Mitch will give you some money as an apology. Let's both be grown-ups here and agree to amicably part ways, okay? Oh, and by the way, I already have all of my important things moved out, so I won't be coming back to the apartment.
Melissa, you can't do this. Come on. Let's meet up and talk things over. Please?
No thanks, bye-bye.
Hey, Mitch. Sorry to message you out of the blue like this. There's something very important I need to talk to you about as soon as possible. So please message me back once you see this. Oh, hey there, Isaac. Wow, I think the last time I talked with you was at my going away party at the office 4 years ago. How have you been? Sorry, Mitch. As much as I'd like to, I don't have time to catch up with you right now. Oh, wow. You sound like it's something serious. What's up? I'm gonna get right to the point. Do you know a woman named Melissa? Melissa? No, I can't say I know of any woman named Melissa. Well, I know of a few, but none I would consider close acquaintances. Why do you ask? Well, it's my fiancé. Oh, awesome! You getting married? Congratulations! Well, I was getting married. She just broke up with me. Huh? Wow. Well, I'm very sorry to hear about that. Did you want someone to talk to about that? No, I'm not looking for a counseling session. All right. Well, then how exactly does this concern me? Melissa said the reason she was breaking up with me was because she's getting married to Mitch. That is, you? What? Hold on just 1 second. I do have a girlfriend, but her name's definitely not Melissa. And like I said, I don't even know any Melissa personally either. So whoever she's talking about, it isn't me. Okay. Yeah, I had a suspicion you'd say that. Would you mind telling me more? Why is your fiancée all of a sudden going around telling you she's getting married to me? It's a really long story. Do you think we could meet up in person in the next few days? If you want, we can meet somewhere close to your place. Yeah, that would probably be for the best. I'd like to figure out exactly what is going on here before it gets out of hand. Thanks, Mitch. I really appreciate it. Can you come to my apartment? It's right across from the station on 4th Avenue. 4th Avenue? The last I remember, you were living on North Main. Yeah, I was. But due to certain circumstances, I had to move. I actually just moved in here a few weeks ago. Certain circumstances, you say? I don't know if it has anything to do with what's going on with your fiancé, but if there's no point in hiding it, I'll tell you about it when you actually get here. Actually, could you come over today? I just so happen to have the rest of the day off. Wow, that's perfect. I had the day off today too. Awesome! As long as you're coming over, I can introduce you to my girlfriend who's just moved in with me. Let me know when you get close. I'll go out to the street to wait for you. Thanks. I'll let you know.
Hey again, Isaac. Just so you don't get any ideas in your head about the two of us getting back together, I thought I should let you know that Isaac and I just got married. It might seem sudden, but we were so desperate to finally be together. I hope you don't get too beat up about it. Not that I really care anymore. Mitch is way hotter than you, and he's filthy stinking rich. I feel like the luckiest woman in the world to have landed such a catch. It's too bad things didn't work out between us, Isaac. Maybe if you had a little more ambition, we could have really had something special. So yeah, that's all. If you see us on the street, pretend you don't know me, okay?
Hello, Melissa. Thanks for the report. For the record, I have absolutely zero interest in getting back together with you. But there's one last thing I'd like to confirm before we part ways forever.
Fine. What do you want? This had better not to be anything stupid like, did you ever really love me, or is there really nothing I can do to get you to stay, or something. Go ahead, ask your question, but make it quick so I can get back to the newly wed life with Mitch.
Are you at Mitch's apartment right now?
That's it? Weird question, but yeah, I am. I've been gradually moving my stuff into his apartment over the last few weeks, ever since he proposed to me. Somebody pinch me. I must be dreaming. I'm the wife of a wealthy and powerful CEO living on the top floor of a luxury apartment building. I can't imagine how anyone could live with less than this.
About that apartment. By any chance, are you in a high-rise apartment building on North Main? Room number 7501?
What the? That's super duper creepy. How do you know that?
I guess you didn't know this, but Mitch and I happen to be acquainted.
Really?
Yeah, we used to work at the same company for a while. His department and mine worked together frequently. So I ran into him quite often up until he left to take over his dad's company.
Oh, well, small world, I guess. Whatever, just don't forget that even though you might be old friends with my new husband, he's way more of a man than you'll ever be. So don't even think about trying to talk to him, got it?
There is just one more thing I'd like you to know.
Get over yourself. I don't care about anything you have to say.
I don't know. It seems like you would be pretty interested in hearing that Mitch moved out of that apartment 2 weeks ago.
What?
And he's also dating a woman who isn't you.
Seriously, Isaac, grow up. I get it. You're a sore loser because I broke up with you to be with a better man, but that doesn't give you the right to make up bizarre lies about my new husband. It's over and we're never getting back together. Give it up.
I'm not lying. I just heard about all of this from Mitch himself. He just introduced me to his girlfriend, who moved in with him.
What are you talking about?
I'm also in the same room as Mitch and his girlfriend right now. We're in his new apartment, the one he moved into 2 weeks ago.
Isaac, the lie has gone too far enough. Are you this desperate to get back together with me? Well, it's not going to work. No amount of lies from your mouth will ever break me and Mitch apart.
You said you just got married to Mitch, right? Send me a picture of him.
Fine, here he is. There, is that enough for you? Now, will you finally accept that Mitch and I are together?
Oh boy. Oh boy. This is, yikes.
What?
Oh my god. I can't believe this. That is not Mitch.
What? Yes, it is.
I mean, sure. I guess they do look alike, but that's not Mitch.
Yes, it is.
No, that's Mitch's younger brother, Mike.
What? His younger brother?
Ask him yourself.
Fine. You wait right there. Well, I just asked him and it was Mike.
Told you so. Seriously though, how did you not realize that?
Well, I heard he goes by his initials MCs, so I always just called him that.
Well, they do both have the same initials. But that was quite the colossal mistake on your part. You never even called him by his full name?
When I first saw Mitch, he was being interviewed on a news program for a local TV station. He was so handsome and confident, I fell absolutely head over heels for him. I want to get closer to him somehow, so I started looking all over for his information and eventually found his address. I pretended to be an old classmate of his wanting to catch up. Then once we started dating for real, I was like, oh, oops, I guess I was wrong about you being my old classmate. Oh, well, and we just kept seeing each other.
That's kind of marriage fraud, you know?
But as long as he wanted to marry me, so what? I knew that I wanted to marry him.
Such a shame you had this realization while you were engaged to me.
I left all the marriage paperwork to him. I just signed my name on the places he showed me. I guess I never thought to look at what he wrote for his own name. And I mean, they have basically the same face.
Yeah, they were only born a year apart, so they've been mistaken for twins a bunch of times throughout their lives. But there are some distinct differences between the two of them, and once you figure out what their particular features are, it gets pretty easy to tell who is who.
I don't believe this is happening. But Mitch did live in this apartment, right? I didn't get that wrong, did I? When did Mike start living here, and why?
Apparently, it all started about 6 months ago when Mike started living in Mitch's old apartment. Mike had to leave his own place for some reason, and Mitch allowed Mike to stay with him until he settled on a new place. It was only supposed to be for a few weeks or so. But Mike kept coming up with some more and more excuses, and before he knew it, a year had gone by and he was still living there. Furthermore, Mitch figured out that Mike had been bringing a woman into the house while he was out of town on business. Mitch got tired of dealing with it, so 2 weeks ago he left Mike to take care of the old apartment and moved into a new one with his girlfriend.
Wait, so you're saying that I can keep on living with Mike in this incredible high-rise apartment? Awesome! This place is incredible! Maybe being Mike's wife won't be so bad after all. I guess I'll stay with him then.
Well, I'm glad to hear you decided to stay true to your husband. Boy, it sure is a shame you broke up with me. That's a real bummer. How will I ever recover?
Huh, you can cut the sarcasm. I know you're devastated. Killer apartment, then that means that he's still a better man than you, even if he's not as much of a man as Mitch. If you'll excuse me, I think I'll go and cuddle with my new husband. So, what if we got together through a misunderstanding? Our love for each other is the real thing.
Mike's actually unemployed.
Huh?
Yeah, that's the reason he had to leave his old apartment. He got fired from his job and moved in with Mitch until he got back on his feet, which he never did. Are you sure you're okay with a husband like that?
Is that true?
Oh, and one other thing. He's being evicted from that apartment in 2 days because he can't pay this month's rent. So I wouldn't go getting too comfortable if I were you.
In 2 days? 2 days? Hey again, Isaac. So I'm gonna come back to your place tomorrow, okay?
Huh?
Yeah, I changed my mind about breaking up with you. I realized you actually are a pretty good guy, so we can get married after all.
No thanks.
No thanks?
Yep. Breaking up with you is definitely the right choice.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Mike and I just got divorced.
You think that's the only issue here? I have no interest in marrying you anymore.
But why?
Do I really need to explain myself?
Yeah, I don't get it at all. What's your problem?
You cheated on me for 3 months, broke up with me, married another guy, and divorced him when you learned he wasn't as rich as you thought. If you really need me to explain it any more than that, then yikes.
Come on, give me a break.
As for the breakup settlement, you'll be hearing from my lawyer in the next few days.
Are you really gonna sue me?
From this point on, anytime you want to contact me, you'll have to do it through my lawyer.
You can't do this to me, Isaac. You have to marry me. Please, pretty please. I'll have nowhere to live without you.
The next day, Melissa came back to the apartment we used to share. I had already talked to a friend who let me stay at their place for a while, so fortunately, I avoided having to deal with her. I also contacted Melissa's parents. I told them everything that had happened in the lead up to our engagement being broken off, and they said they'd have her move back in with them to see if they can turn her life around. My lawyer went over to negotiate a settlement for her affair and breaking off our engagement, and as of now, we are officially broken up. She couldn't pay the settlement, of course, so her parents agreed to foot the bill and force her to work to pay them back. She's only ever worked at a part-time job before now, and since that wasn't going to be enough, she's now working 3 jobs in a desperate attempt to pay her parents back before their deadline. And by deadline, I mean if she doesn't pay it all back within 2 years, they'll kick her out of their house and disown her. As for Mike, he really was just too dumb to realize that Melissa was an engaged woman who mistook him for his brother. So I honestly feel kind of bad for him. Hopefully, he'll be able to hold down a job and turn his life around.